Good morning from the beautiful state of Arizona. It's a little chilly here this morning, but it's absolutely beautiful. Doesn't feel like Christmas. I'm just going to tell you, it feels more like a spring morning. But I wanted to come live this morning. I thought I had found a beautiful, uh, quiet place where I wouldn't wake up the little girls. But there's a jackhammer behind me. So if you hear this noise, it's someone already doing construction on this Saturday morning. And I apologize, but it is hard to find a good spot when you're not in your own environment. So here I am in Chance's backyard trying to be quiet, but I wanted to be right on time. It's 8 o'clock Arizona time, 9 o'clock Central. How many of you have been watching No Guts, No Story for a minute now? Drop in the comments how long you've been watching and let me know where you're coming in from. I can see all of your comments. And what I wanted to do was bring you a little training that I think has helped me so much over the years. Sorry for this very crazy cat that's running back and forth and back and forth. He's so excited to be outside. I ordered a little thing to put on him as a tracker just so he wouldn't get lost because he's a very special cat, if you haven't noticed. Anyway, that's Freckles, and Freckles is excited to be on No Guts, No Story as well. So good morning. Let me know where you're coming in from. I see Maryland in the house. I see California. I see Florida, and I see Arkansas. I feel like Mr. Rogers, in the neighborhood. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. And you're just like welcoming everybody that you see. Well, today I want to share with you guys just kind of an aha moment that's helped me in my life. Let me know if you're watching on Instagram or maybe one of my author pages. This is completely free coaching that I do every Saturday morning. And the reason why we do No Guts, No Story, that is the name of my book. And the book, No Guts, No Story, is literally just a memoir of my life up to 2001. Now, all year, my publisher has been like, Barb, you have to have a new book. You have to have it by Black Friday. You have to have it by Christmas. You definitely have to have it by the cruise or the convention. And you guys, it just hasn't fit into my schedule. But my book, No Guts, No Story, is really outdated. It literally ends in 2001 when we're just at the top of our game before we ever had a company that, we trusted. And then all of a sudden our income went away. It's before so many life lessons that I've learned. So I am due for a new one, but I have no idea how that's going to fit into the schedule because we are crazy busy right now. And it's a good crazy busy. So I want to talk to you guys today about your belief in having a paradigm shift, because I really do believe that a lot of us hold back our happiness, our potential, our dreams, our goals based on a limiting belief that we have no idea how it even got in there. If you think of I love maple long johns. I love maple donuts. It was Nana Cindy's favorite. So sometimes she would call and be like, hey, I'm bringing you a maple long john, or I would. But the worst feeling is when you think you're getting a maple long john and you bite into it and it has chocolate pudding or Bavarian cream, right? And you're like, how did that even get in there? You can't tell it was in there, but it's in there. And I like to use the analogy of putting new jelly. Oh, the cat's going to knock over my Instagram tripod here. We got such a setup going on. If y'all could just see me right now, you would be laughing. Your cat's excited, Chance. She's running. So new jelly in an old donut. How do you get new jelly in the donut? And it's kind of like your brain. How do I help you get new beliefs in your brain? She went that way. How do I help you get new beliefs in your brain when you have limiting beliefs that you have a reason to believe them? You have no idea how they even got there. You don't like how it feels, but it keeps stopping you from getting your goals and dreams. There she is. We found the cat. So jelly in the donut. Let's talk about your beliefs. And if you look up the word belief, there's nothing that's really bad. It's our thinking that makes it so. Nothing is ever bad. It's our thinking that makes it so. So Oprah Winfrey said, you don't get what you want. You only get what you believe. You'll never get what you want. You only get what you believe. When you think about that, that's terrifying. One of my favorite doctors, Dr. Tom Morter, he's passed away, but the old man, Dr. Morter, always said, every thought is a prayer and every prayer is answered. Be careful what you thought. One day I was walking with him. We were in Chicago, Illinois, and I was drinking a Diet Coke. And Dr. Morter was all about alkalinity in your body. He would always teach cancer can't grow in an alkaline environment. Why would you do anything that's acidic? In his whole philosophy, he had this clinic you could go to. And people in our organization would pay $4,000 and $5,000 to go to Arkansas to Morter Clinic. And I would have leaders in my organization that had so much potential. And I would be like, why can't you get to 5,000 a month or 10,000 a month? And they would be like, I don't know. I'm working harder than anyone else. I have more skills. I have more talent. I have more resources. I have more people on my list, but I just can't do it. And they would go to his clinic. This is why I'm so much about energy healing and really dealing and doing the work. People would go to his clinic. They would come back home and they would be like, I don't have allergies. I don't know why I thought I had allergies all my life. I'm not even sick now. And I would be like, how did that happen? They would go to his clinic. They would come back home and say, I was carrying a secret that no one knew my entire life. And I went there and I actually released my belief systems around that. And I don't have the pain in my back anymore. And I would be like, this is crazy. It has to be in your head. And that's my question. What's the jelly in your donut? What's in your head? What's making you believe what you're believing that's keeping you so low, keeping you stopped from your dreams, your goals, all of your aspirations, your talent, your gifts? What is it that's keeping you? So my husband, he's an incredible speaker, but he came out on stage at one of our events and the topic was a paradigm shift. And I'm going to try to help you guys through this without having Dave here with me. My number one value in my life is my family and my grandkids and my kids. And I will do anything to make it happen. I just want you guys to know there is no flight that's too much. There's no drive that's too long. There's no amount of sleep I wouldn't sacrifice. Nothing. At the end of the day, the number one accomplishment in my life, the letters behind my name, when I was raising kids and building a business, I used to put on my business card, Barb Pitcock, DMN. Don't mean nothing. But if you had letters behind your name on your business card, people thought you were a really big deal. So I was always Barb Pitcock, DMN. And then one day I started this team of all these young moms that wanted to be home with their babies like I was. And we called it the Mom Club. And behind our names, we all put M.O.M. And really, that is the number one accomplishment that you can have. If you bring humans into the world, they are your responsibility to mentor, coach, protect, and love all the days of their life, right? They are, once you're a mom, it's not about you anymore. It never was about you, right? On this earth, I think a lot of people feel entitled. What they deserve, what they have, what they get recognized for. If you really study the word, the only reason why we're on this planet is to serve others, have that experience that we came to earth to have, whatever your life mission is, and you got to look hard to find that. It's not about notoriety. It's not about your education. It's not about the Olympic medal or that you're an NFL player or that you're a pop star or that you're a doctor. Those things might be your goal. You might be a diamond in my company. That might be your goal. But that's not your life. That's a chapter, not a lifetime. Your lifetime, and I want you to have a paradigm shift with me here this morning, is about how you serve others, how you witness to others, and how you make this life experience a better experience for the people that you are around. So There's this inner child of you when you're born where you believe you can be anything. I want to be a fireman. I always wanted to be a teacher. Like, I lived with my grandma most of the time until she died when I was 12. My mom and dad were workaholics, and my grandma was a saint. But if you go in the old rock house where my mom grew up and where my grandma lived, on the way to the basement cellar, there's a big 2-inch thick, 12-inch wide, 6-inch tall, big beam. And it says, teachers. Remember when you used to go to your elementary class and your teacher's name would be engraved in a piece of wood? And it says teachers, and then it says Melissa Mills and Barbara Zorn. And we thought we were the teachers, right? We were going to teach all the kids. And we learned what we lived. So when I was growing up, if you were in trouble, you got paddled with a board. So believe it or not, down there in the basement where I had 8 or 9 little cousins, I had desks with all their names on them. And if they were naughty, I would tell them, I'm going to paddle you with this board. Now, can you guys imagine me paddling someone with a board? I can't even imagine it. But when I was a little girl, that's what I wanted. I wanted to have authority. I wanted to be a teacher. I literally had an inner child inside of me that was like, I need to teach. I need to love. I need to coach. So then I became a baton twirler. And the next thing you know, I realized you could charge $2.50 a lesson for baton twirling. So when I was 16, I went to the city building and I asked the rec director if I could teach baton classes. And after school, I went to the city building basement with my baton and I charged people to teach their kids to twirl a baton. And pretty soon I realized if I have 10 little girls twirling a baton, that's $25 an hour. So maybe I should start a baton twirling school. Maybe I should become a ballerina. I was good at that. It made me feel good. I could perform. I loved to entertain. In my inner spirit, I knew I was here to be on a stage, perform, make people happy, create an environment where the crowd was entertained. Like, you all have something inside of you that is your inner gift that you were born with. You were born with it. It's not going away. It's your talent. It's your gift. And sometimes as we get older, the jelly that gets in the donut makes us want to push that down. We want to push that down based on beliefs or experiences that we had. So when I was twirling a baton, I felt good. I felt happy. I want you to go to a time in your life where you felt good and you felt happy. So my identity was, I'm a baton twirler. All through high school, I led the parade. I performed the halftime show. I wasn't good at singing, but I wanted to be because all my popular friends were in Pop's choir. My husband, Dave, actually sang in a quartet. You should have heard it. They charged people to show up on the porch and sing Valentine's to them. Like, that was a fundraiser for the school. I did not have that talent. You've got to know what your gifts are. And you've got to soar with your strengths and quit trying to be somebody that you're not. So the paradigm shift is you figuring out what makes you happy and doing more of that. Doing more of that. I'm not a girl that sits with a bunch of columns and adds them up and does accounting. I've never done that. I'm not good at that. I don't enjoy that. I don't want to do that. So I aligned myself with people that were smarter than me. Dave's mom always had a red pen. Barb, you misspelled that. That thing you posted has the wrong date. I don't know if these taxes are adding up right. She was constantly telling me every little mistake I made because details was not my strength. Now, how many of you have somebody telling you what you're not good at and you keep trying to get good at it, but it's actually not your purpose. It's not your strength. Can you imagine what a waste of talent it would be if I went to our company, everyone on the corporate team, and said, you know what? I think I would be better at managing the money. Well, the world would stop because I wouldn't be out planting seeds. I wouldn't be out bringing new reps in. I wouldn't be creating experiences and building dreams and empowering people. I wouldn't be doing what I'm good at. So when I ask you a question, what are you good at? What do you love? Drop in the comments what you love. And what is your belief about yourself in that area? What do you love? This is a pop quiz. Pop quiz. Everybody drop in the comments. Flood the comments. What do you love? First thing that comes to your mind. I see my husband's on here. He's going to say fishing. He's going to say building things. He's going to not say travel. He's going to not say in the pit with my wife at concerts. He's going to not say go where there's a ton of people. So here's me. Let's go to the Macy's Day Parade one day on Thanksgiving just to experience it. Let's go to New York when the ball drops. Dave would rather get a root canal than have to go do the things that I love to do. But here's something that I wouldn't love to do. Sit on the side of a hill and call in coyotes in the snow and take pictures of them. Chance comes to Kansas. It's a blizzard. There's white all over the ground. We're in the country. They hear them howling. Chance will be like, Dad, let's call in some coyotes. Like, never in my life do I want to call in a coyote. I'll go with him, take the hot chocolate, sit in the truck, cheer him on. But that is not my dream. That is not my goal. That is not my desire. Do you know that people will stay stuck in something that they hate their whole life based on fear of losing something that actually keeps them secure? I see Mindy says, I love cooking. Dave says, I love building things. Okay, so we found a way. I love houses. In my next life, I think I should be a realtor or a builder. I could live on Zillow, just looking at interiors and houses. Last night, we were brave enough to take children to the mall in Scottsdale because I needed presents. I didn't have one present bought. And we were brave enough to go during Christmas in the city on a Friday night. I wouldn't advise it, but it wasn't as busy as you thought it would be. I think the whole world's sitting on Amazon. Even Lola was like, there's not that many people here. There was no line for Santa Claus, but we made a reservation to see the real Santa Claus, mind you. It was the real one. She looked at my pictures on Facebook. We found my picture from 2013 with the real one that came to our Christmas store. He had a real beard. Right when we got there, she had my phone looking at the picture and she goes, Grandma Barb, that's him. I can see his hairs. That's him. We knew it was him. We knew it was him. The experience was completely different than any other going to visit Santa experience she ever had because she believed that's the real one. So we had this dream that we were going to go and we were going to get all the presents in one night. Well, things don't always turn out as planned. It didn't matter how exhausted we were. It didn't matter how there was 14 people ahead of me at Victoria's Secret and I had a gift card from a year ago that was going to expire. It didn't matter that there was a baby that needed a diaper change and there was so many bags on the stroller we couldn't get to the diaper. No excuse would stop us. We had one day. We had to finish. We had to get it done. So instead of saying it's too far, there's too many people, it's too busy, the line's too long, we said, we have to get this done. And I'm going to tell you right now, excuses will keep you stuck and your belief systems will make you miserable. You've got to have a paradigm shift that it's not really a bad experience. It's your thinking that makes it so. Chance was looking at me. He goes, Mom, I don't even know how I'm going to drive home. I'm so stressed. My eye is twitching. And I said, I don't know either, but we have to hit Dillard's and we have to hit Nordstrom's. And we continued to push, right? How many of you have ever had a goal that you knew you had to finish and people thought you were crazy and nobody else wanted to do what you wanted to do, but you were going to finish what you started because it was your desire to get it done? I'm not a quitter. And my biggest pet peeve is people that don't have a plan, don't respect the time that I have, don't understand how much I have to do in how many days, don't keep their commitment, don't want to communicate about it. Like, without a plan, you never plan to fail. You just fail to plan. And that's why most people come up short. I'm never coming up short. I'm going to come up. I want you to drop in the comments, I'm going to come up. Because we're entering a new year and it's your season. You need to quit trying to be somebody that you're not, step into your strengths and you need to soar with them and quit letting people tell you what you lack, how annoying you are, how it's too much, it's too far, you're extra, that's not realistic. No great human ever got there being realistic. It's a belief system. And when you believe that you're going to come up, you're actually going to come up. Drop in the comments. I'm coming up. Okay. Dave's story, back to the beginning of my call where I haven't had my rise yet. I have not had my rise yet, and it's early here. So I apologize if there is some brain fog, if I'm here and there and everywhere. I'll be better on the 10 o'clock corp call after I chug this mushroom drink. But when Dave is on stage and he's telling this story, I want you to imagine this. He's on stage at a convention, and he's in Oshkosh jean overalls. Maybe I can get him to do this in February at our annual convention. It was my favorite speech he ever did. We were actually here in Scottsdale at a beautiful resort. There was about 300 people here, all these top earners. Dave, being the president of the company, comes out on stage. It's 2008. And he has on Oshkosh overalls and galoshes, like rain boots that you would farm in and check cattle. And everybody was looking at him and they were like, what in the world is this guy doing? And he told this story about a paradigm shift. And I'm going to steal it today because it's my second favorite speech he ever did. My first favorite speech he ever did is David and Goliath. And it's literally the best talk he ever gave. But my second favorite speech he ever gave was the Cliff Young Shuffle. And if you don't know about this, you should literally look it up. So Cliff Young was 61 years old, and he did win, but I want to tell you what happened. There is this race, and it's like Sydney, Australia to Melbourne or somewhere. It's 600 miles, 850 kilometers, and it takes almost a week to run it. And this guy, this cattle farmer from Idaho, went there to race. True story. If you don't believe me, look it up. He would be like 95 now. I think he died when he was 81. And this is an old story, but this is a true story. And I hope it helps you to have a paradigm shift. He shows up with his Oshkosh overalls, and he's wearing a ball cap. He has construction boots on, but he brought his galoshes because they said it might call for rain. You want to talk about coming up? Listen to this. He never had a coach. He never read the Runner's Digest. He's never been in a race. He's 61 years old. He shows up and he signs up. And the people at the race said, what are you doing? Are you in the right line? Like, this is actually one of the longest runs. It's a horrific race. Like, it takes so much talent and you have to be fit. Everybody there had on Puma, Adidas. They had like sponsors, right? They got their Nike on. He shows up in his Oshkosh overalls, construction boots, carrying his galoshes, has his ball cap on, probably needs to shave. Can you imagine? What's up, mate? In Australia. And he says, I'm going to run the race. And they said, oh, no, it's too far. It's 600 miles. It's 850 kilometers. He said, it's not too far. See, he was a cattle farmer in Idaho, a potato farmer. He was a guy that went out on the farm for days on end in the weather, walking, chasing the cattle, trying to herd them in, checking on the new calves. He didn't make excuses. He was resilient. He was conditioned to win. He knew he was coming up. He didn't care how much they laughed. He didn't care about the haters, people taking pictures of him, filming him. What does this old man think he's going to do? Guess what he did? He created a paradigm shift for everyone there, that you didn't have to run and then sleep. Oh my gosh, come here. Come here on my camera. Look at this little cutie. You gotta show them, Lo. Look at this little cutie. What are you bringing me? What are you bringing me, Lo? Rise. What does Rise help us do? What does it help? How do you feel when you drink Rise? Is it delicious? No. It is delicious. Which flavor do you like? None? You don't like the kids' caffeine-free Rise? Oh my goodness. This is not planned. That is not what you're supposed to say, Lola. You are fired. Thank you for bringing me the Rise. I can't believe that. Every kid loves the Rise. Okay, out of the mouth of babes. Yes. Oh my gosh, the elf on the shelf is in the pool chilling. How did I not notice that? I'm going to have to show you guys at the end. She just realized the elf on the shelf is in the pool laying on the lounge chair. We just got interrupted. That was a timeout. Yes, she is adorable. Still in her Christmas pajamas from last night. I got to tell you before we end about this Santa experience. It was something else. But the Cliff Young Shuffle. He shows up in his galoshes and he starts the race. And you guys, I wish I was on stage to show you this, because he didn't run like everyone else. It was more like this. And in his running water galoshes, whatever you wear to check cattle, he's running the race with a Cliff Young Shuffle. So this, thank you, Holly. This is a new hoodie that's not even out yet. So he runs this race for 5 straight days. He shuffles his feet and he does not sleep. And he breaks the record. He's older than everyone. And he finishes 5 hours ahead of the next runner. It's unbelievable. All of them in their running gear with their coaches and their mentors, and they got their Puma and their Nike. Can you even imagine that? The old potato farmer wins. Look it up. It's called the Cliff Young Shuffle in Sydney, Australia. Everyone there is 20 to 30 years old. Everyone there has been training all year. Everyone there has a coach, and they've been working towards it. And Cliff Young has nothing except belief that he can last for 600 miles, not have to be lazy and stop and rest, not have to have all the coaches cheering him on. He just goes and gets it done. And he beats them all. Famous for the race. Why? His former life? He was built for this. He would chase animals for 24 hours. He didn't need to stop and sleep. He had an advantage that nobody else knew. And every single one of you has this advantage that nobody else knows. Think about it. He was never coached. He never read about it. He never trained. He didn't know the limiting beliefs that you have to run for 15 hours and sleep for 6. He just knew you work nonstop for 5.5 days. You have a dream. You have the desire. It's a season, not a lifetime. If it's calving season, if it's farming season, if it's planting season, it's a season. And you're either going to have simple disciplines and the pain of discipline, or you're going to have the pain of regret. Last night was brutal. Last night was brutal at the mall. I want to tell you something. I've had Christmases where I didn't have all 3 kids at home. I've had Christmases where we baked cookies with Nana Cindy at the lake and we took pictures, not knowing we would never get the chance to take the picture again. It's the pain of discipline or it's the pain of regret. I'm not going to have any regrets. You can all make excuses. You can all say whatever you want to say. I'm living a life of no regret. The letters behind my name, I will be the best mom, the best grandma, the best wife. Christmas is what you make it with the magic that you create. It's not about all the presents under the tree. I don't care about all the presents under the tree. I care about how I'm going to make you feel when you come to my party on Christmas Eve. I care about the memories that I'm going to have of these kids when they're little. I care about the Kodak moment. because in the end, that's all you have. All you have is the pictures and the memories. If you go to my daughter Callie's house, she has a big wooden bowl. It's filled with Polaroids. She loves Polaroids because she says all the digital pictures we take, nobody ever really goes back and looks at. But everyone who comes to my house that sits at the table looks at all the Polaroids in the bowl. I remember the Polaroid she took on my birthday when I turned 50. We were in Tulsa, and it was my 50th birthday, and we were at the Mayo Hotel, and she ordered cupcakes, and she took a Polaroid picture, and Lola was a baby, and I still remember it. I remember when we walked into the lobby, there was a grand piano, and the guy was singing the song Lola. And I remember Chance and Lola just running over there and sitting at this pianist. I don't know how much the hotel cost. I'm sure it wasn't the cheapest hotel. I remember it was cold outside. It wasn't the best spring break. I remember there was a lot of things happening in our family that weren't the most favorable conditions. But guess what I remember? Callie made it really special with cupcakes and a Polaroid. Chance made it really special, and he came there with Lola. Dave made it really special, and he got us a fun room at this old historic hotel. It's the memories that you make. It's the memories that you make, and it's the Kodak moments. It's not about you. It hasn't been about you since the day that you were born. That's the part that most people don't understand until they have those life lessons. Last night, I wanted the Kodak moment. You can't want something for other people that they don't want. Dave told me this was the best topic for my story. Actually, I should go get the picture just so you could see it. Maybe my little helper Lola will bring me the photo with Santa. But let me tell you what happened. Growing up, my dad was the local county Santa. He wasn't the real Santa, of course, but he got paid to make house calls, to ride at the end of the parade. It's very emotional for me when I go to the lighted parade. And at the end, everybody waits for Santa, right? Because when you're a little kid, you have this crazy belief. You have this crazy belief that there's magic in that and that you can get anything that you want. Little kids really do believe they're getting anything they want. Parents are like, oh my God, I can't believe they asked Santa for this. But Santa just makes it happen, right? And it's crazy because whatever we believe, it's our thinking that makes it so. We can create our own magical experience. So there was a lot of things when I was growing up that weren't the best, but Christmas was like the best because my mom was Mrs. Santa. My dad was Santa, and they were always gone working. But when it was Christmas time, we were literally like all together making house calls. So we would show up at your house. You would leave the money in an envelope. There would be a list of all the little kids, what to say. Johnny's been doing good with his potty training. Susie hasn't been fighting with Barb. Lana was a really good mom, and she gets a new cook set. When you showed up, there was a list, and then Santa would create this magical experience, and the people would pay. And then our family, it was like how we raised money for Christmas, and we all had to work. We literally would be gift wrapping and delivering, and like we always had to work. That's all we did was work. But I'm grateful for my dad for that. And my dad was always the last person in the parade. And the other night I took my mom to the lighted Christmas parade, and me and Dave were sitting there, and she said, I will never forget the year that grandma was at home listening to KRSL radio. And we were listening to KRSL while we were watching the parade. And the guy was talking about Santa's coming up at the end of the parade. And my mom said one of her favorite memories of me as a little girl, the radio announcer said, oh my goodness, here's Barb. Barb, what do you want from Santa? And I told him. And when the parade came by and my Santa was on the back of that fire truck, the KRSL broadcaster said, so what do you think about Santa? And I literally said on the local radio station for everybody that was at the parade in their car with their kids, I said, that's my daddy. And my mom said my grandma Schneider just almost had a cow. And obviously the radio station guy fixed it real quickly, but it was magical for me because I knew what we were doing for other families. I knew that it was going to be time that we were all together. And later, my mom and I and 5 siblings, thanks to my husband, Dave, who put up the money, created the logo, built the website, and went and bought whatever I wanted. We started a Christmas park. And we made the lighted arches. And we bought a trackless train. My mom ordered reindeer from North Dakota, and we tried to keep them alive in Kansas. She owned an RV park. So she called Dallas, Texas, bought all of their old stuff that used to be on their main street all the way down Dallas, Texas. If you can imagine the beauty of these outdoor decorations, but they were used. We decked out the entire RV park. We had trackless train rides. We had live nativity. We had s'mores around a fire. We had Santa pictures. Little kids could buy the reindeer food and go feed the reindeer. It made me happy. It was Kodak moments for so many people. Now, my dad's been gone from us since I was 18 years old. He lives about 8 hours away, and we see my dad occasionally. I love my dad. I love my dad. I love Christmas. He instilled such a magical belief in me when it came to Christmas. And I just love going to see Santa. And I like to believe that he's real. It's my thinking that makes it so. Last night, we go to the mall. I can't wait for Lola to meet the Santa. Now, some of you will argue with me that this is a bad thing to teach kids. We all have our own beliefs, what's good and bad. It's our thinking that makes it so. I cherish the memories I have, and I was really sad when someone told me that he wasn't real. A lot of my friends don't believe in Christmas, so for those that are of other things, please don't be offended by this. Happy Hanukkah to all my Jewish friends. I love you. Merry Christmas to all of my Christmas-believing friends. I love you. Happy day every day to all of my friends who don't celebrate holidays. You're the most kindest, generous, gift-giving people I've ever met in my life. This is not about what's right and what's wrong. It's just about experiences and how you impact other people's lives. And I grew up with a belief system, jelly in the donut, that Christmas was important, that it's Christ's birthday, that baby Jesus was born in a manger, and there was a wise man, and believe it or not, they brought him essential oils of all gifts. Side note, get the people you love some essential oils that are tuned with frequency, mind you. But I loved going to church on Christmas Eve. It was always candlelit. Like, that was the most important part of Christmas. And then we would go home and we would open all the presents with all of our cousins, right? What are your belief systems that create the happiness? What are your belief systems that are the Kodak moments? Because if I showed you the picture of last night at the mall, it's what I wanted to do. And I was excited, just like I want to take Knox, my grandson, to Universal so bad because he loves Jurassic Park. He loves dinosaurs. Like, I don't care if it kills me. I'm taking that kid to see the look on his face when we're in that boat where Jaws was filmed. And then we go into the jungle where the dinosaurs look real and he can actually see a Tyrannosaurus Rex like Jurassic Park. Like, I would rather do that than get a brand new Mercedes or a brand new Escalade that was completely decked out, paid for, free, black, matte, whatever. Who gives a crap about a freaking car? I want the moments. I want the memories. I want to be with the people that I love, laughing, taking pictures. I could be happy in a little log cabin as long as I had everybody around me and we were making memories. I'm just different like that. But when you look at yourself and you say, what makes me happy? What makes my life complete? Nobody can fix that for you. It's beliefs that make it so. Rosie did not like Santa. In fact, you would have thought somebody was beating her. She was screaming at the top of her lungs. She was terrified, and Lola was sitting there in awe. In the picture, Lola's like, that's the real Santa. And in the picture, Rosie is like, this guy is going to take me away and I'm never going to see my dad again. Like, it was not a good experience for her. She did not enjoy it. but we made memories together. What makes you happy? It's time for you to come up. You got to quit fitting into everyone else's box. You got to quit being intimidated by what everyone else believes. See, Cliff Young didn't care if they laughed. Cliff Young didn't care how bad the conditions were. He's been in weather many times. Cliff Young didn't care how far, didn't care what they said, didn't care how brutal it might be. He just believed. And he beat everyone. And he finished light years ahead of them, 5 hours ahead of everyone that had trained all year, because he believed. It all comes down to your belief. It all comes down to your belief. And some of you have to really believe that you're going to come up. The stamina in you, the resilience in you, the warrior in you. Quit being timid and putting a lid on yourself just to make everyone else around you comfortable or happy. If you have to put a lid on yourself, you're in the wrong room with the wrong people. If you have to water it down because you're annoying and you're extra, my grandkids always tell me, Barb, you're talking too loud. I'll be at Callie's house. She'll be like, you're going to wake everyone up. I don't even know I talk loud. I don't think my hearing is that good. I don't even know I talk loud, but it makes me so much money. And I'm never going to quiet down. I'm never going to quiet down. I'm never going to stop being authentic. I'm never going to stop being real. I'm never going to worry about anyone else thinks. I don't care about the haters. Oh my goodness, I've got some haters, you guys. I pray for them. I pray for them because they're sick. I pray for them because they're lost. I pray for them because they're intimidated. I pray for them because of their beliefs. I pray for them because hurting people hurt other people. There's nobody that has a full heart of forgiveness that's all love and authenticity that's tearing anybody down. The Magic of Thinking Big says, anybody that criticizes others, it's page 256 if you want to look it up. I've read the book 100 times, page 256. There was never a statue erected for a critic, and anyone that criticizes others will be mediocre at best. So look at all the haters on Facebook and be like, congratulations on your mediocre life. You're going to be mediocre at best. Now, the good news is God will forgive them. There's nothing that can't be forgiven. I forgive them. I just feel sorry for them. There's people that build people up, and there's people that tear people down. I'm building people up. I'm making impact. I'm Cliff Younging. I am Cliff Younging the MLM industry. See, I didn't do it like everyone else. I didn't go look and say, oh, let's do some peptides. That's the hot thing. I didn't go say, let's start a skincare company. That's what everybody wants. I didn't say, let's knock off the makeup and do a lip stain. I definitely didn't try to create a vitamin. I created a drink because of the pain that I went through, the perseverance. I had the tenacity. No amount of money was too much. Selling Dave's mom's house, selling the Cardinal House Airbnb, selling the med spa, walking away from $1 million a year, guaranteed $300,000 by the December. I always knew what I was going to get. It was comfortable. I was winning. Let me tell you guys something. Nobody's growing when they're winning. You only experience growth when you're getting your ass kicked. Hell week at cheer at K-State, Callie would watch little girls passing out. 2-a-days in football when Chance went and played D1 football, nobody enjoyed that. You're never growing unless you're getting your ass kicked. And the growth that you're experiencing right now, getting your butt kicked, is what's going to help you come up. So you got to embrace it. Quit having regret. Last night on the drive home, Chance and I were listening to an Audible. Highly suggest this. Chapter 7 is the best. Download it today. Living a Life of Surrender. The author's name is Michael Singer. And we were listening to it and Chance goes, yeah, Mom, but you don't have anything in your life that you regret. And I know Lola had to be so annoyed. It was almost 10 o'clock at night. We're driving. I'm talking without stopping of every single thing in my life that created so much pain, so much regret, my poor decisions, my mistakes, my business decisions that were terrible, my financial decisions that ruined me, my relationship decisions with communication that sucked so bad, I ruined relationships in business and friendships. My decisions where I pivoted. Let me tell you something. There's no bad decision. You can't make a wrong decision. Write this down. You cannot make a wrong decision. It's the indecision that is the worst decision. And every mistake and every regret made me who I am today. I could tell you for the next hour how many regrets I have from July of 2000. I could tell you for an hour how I regret my parenting skills in 2017. I could tell you for an hour how much smarter I should have been in rooms with men in business that literally pulled the wool over my eyes and destroyed empires that I built. I could tell you about egos that I became a part of that cost me everything I had saved. I would have had my house paid off the day I turned 50, 5 years ago. But I made a decision that I regret. And guess what? I learned. The only way you learn is by lessons, pain, poor decisions, losses, times where you feel like you're not going to make it through the valley. That's where you get your strength. That's where you get your faith, where God really shows up. I didn't know if Dave and I would survive the year 2001, but here we are, married 33 years next year. I didn't know if I would ever make it in the industry of direct sales after losing it not once, but twice. Who can start over twice? What are you going to say to your friends? How are you going to show back up with mud on your face, egg on your face, haters going wild on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram? Let them hate. Let them be the reason you're never going to give up. Let them be the reason you're not going to let them win. Make them eat their words to the point they gag and choke out on it. You got to have some grit. The non-Jesus side is coming out of me here. I got to settle down. My husband would be like, settle down, Barbara, settle down. I love you. I love every single one of you. I love going live on Saturday mornings. I love shooting straight with you. Every decision that I've made that taught me something, every regret that I've had that made me have more wisdom, every mistake I ever made that helped me learn the lesson. I need to write a new book. I have 5 of them in me right now. But let me tell you something. I'm not playing small. I'm about to come up. And if you think Cliff Young had them astonished how he won the Cliff Young Shuffle in Sydney, Australia, wait till you see what we're about to do in 2026. We're leading a team of people that is about to come up. There is no excuse. There is no regret. There is no shame. There is no guilt. There is no judgment. There is no label. Every single one of you went through exactly what you went through to get you to the point you're at today. And the reality is you need new jelly in your donut. You need a paradigm shift that none of it was ever bad. It brought you to the crossroads like a dot to dot. You had to go through every dot to get to where you are today to finish the full picture. Last night, I saw some people from our hometown sharing a mugshot of a young kid that grew up in my mom's trailer park. Oh, I hate bullies. If there's anything I hate, it's a bully. Gossip makes me want to strangle people. Tearing people down in hurtful words. Social media is the devil. The news, I think they should all be fired. I think news should be illegal. To ever post someone's mugshot on social media to the point that person may want to take their own life, you should be punished. You should be punished. That's just my belief. Some people will say, well, we need to know the news. We need to know who the bad guys are. Let me tell you something. There's only one judge, and nothing's good or bad. It's our thinking that makes it so. You need to have a paradigm shift. You need to have more love. You need to be thinking how you can serve. Stop thinking me, my house, my car, my authority, my respect. At the end of this life, nobody's going to give a shit about any of that. Here's what they're going to say. I knew your mom. I knew your dad. I knew your grandma. I knew your son. This is how they made me feel. This is how they served me. This is how they witnessed to me. This is how they encouraged me. This is what they taught me. This is what they left me. And I hope none of you have any regrets. You need to have a paradigm shift. Nothing in your past was ever bad. Nothing in your past was ever bad. It's your thinking that makes it so. You're holding on to thoughts that don't make you feel good, and you're creating a belief around them that isn't even true. It was part of your life experience. If you believe like I believe, God knew every hair in your head the day you were born. He knew the experience that you would have on this earth during the time that you were born until the time that you die. Why are you fighting that? Step into it. Be authentic. You have a book to write. You have a story to be told. You have a stage to be on. I want to interview you. Let's come up together. Like, let's literally create an environment where all the addicts are welcome. All the felons can be somebody. Every poor marriage can be a victory lap where you actually meet the woman or man of your dreams. Every bad business decision can be a rebound where you come up 10 times anything they ever stole from you. That's the promise in the word. Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, not to harm you, but to prosper you, to give you hope and a future. I believe that to be a promise. I believe that to be magic. I believe that to be the word, and I live by that every single day, and I wish that you would too. But just like me trying to drag Rosie to meet Santa and make it a happy experience, she wasn't having it. And some of you won't either, but that's okay. No matter how hard I dance, some people are never going to clap, but if one does, that's my bliss. If one does, that's my purpose. That's my passion. So if you got something out of today, drop in the comments. What was your takeaway? Tell me what you took away from today. And if you would do me a huge favor, please share this and tag a friend that needs to hear this message. Don't live a life of regret and shame and blame. Those are very low vibrational. They make you sick. You go be you. Quit putting a lid on it. Go do what makes you happy and quit waiting on permission. Have your paradigm shift, just like I did in this industry of direct sales. And while everyone else is doing how they were coached and taught and the traditional way with their Pumas and their Nikes and their big buildings and their massive signs and all of their investors and all of their clout, we just Cliff Younged them. We just did what we knew to be true. Be authentic, be real, create something with passion and purpose, be a good human, serve other people, give away more than you try to keep. You're going to finish way ahead of everyone else. And that's what God's doing in my life. I want him to do it in yours too. But he can't force it. You have to want it. And you have to have a paradigm shift. And when you show up, he's going to show up and you're going to come up. Every single setback was setting you up for a comeback. And I believe the comeback starts today. So I hope you look up the Cliff Young Shuffle. I hope you're inspired. And I'll see you next Saturday on No Guts, No Story. Merry Christmas.